What a day this has been. Mackay Isaac region, insane. We started on the beach all the way down there, made our way up inland, through the valley, up the range, and now we're sitting right here looking over the most magical view, and I've got some delicious produce to cook with. Have a go at that Wagyu steak. Delicious sirloins ready to go onto the Everdura 360. The charcoals are fired up. I've got some delicious mushrooms to serve with it, a simple salad, and of course, some of our rum. I'm going to do a little rum glaze to go onto the steak, and this is going to be a red hot dish. So first thing I'm going to do is just get a little bit of seasoning onto our steak. So a nice grind of salt there. Give it a little flip. Oh, I'm going to do this early on, so that not only can we get that seasoning in there, but also we can ensure that our steaks are at a nice room temperature. Really important when we're barbecuing. So they're just going to set aside. And I've also got these amazing Australian portobello mushrooms. I guess when you look at these two, you've got your vegetarian version of a steak, and this is it right here. I'm going to put these onto a more cooler section of the barbecue. One on here. Two on here, and that'll go on as well. And we're going to use these just to sort of slowly cook in the cooler section of the barbecue. I've got the coals built up to one side for the steak, and then no coals here for the mushies. And I'm just going to let them do their thing as we prepare the rest of the ingredients. All right, garlic, we're going to need this not only for our delicious mushrooms, but also for the steak glaze. So I'm just going to take a couple of cloves here, give them a crush. That helps the skin pop off. Chop them roughly. It's very cool up here, surrounded by the rainforest, those beautiful trees. And in the trees just over here, there's a bit of a fruit bat colony. The sun's starting to go down, so I think they're getting fired up to head out for a night of feeding. They're really quite vocal, actually. That's a nice bit of our garlic. I'll just push that to the side there. Next up, we've got some Western Star original salted butter, and that is going to work nicely with our mushies. Mushrooms love a little bit of butter, so I'm going to just place a couple of knobs into the gills of each of these mushrooms, and that's going to just work in with the garlic, which I'm just going to add now, and just flavor that mushroom. So simple, it really doesn't need much more. I will give it a season with some salt and pepper, and the lid goes on, and that's going to do its thing. Now let's talk about our rum glaze. Little saucepan and really simple ingredients. The hero is obviously that rum. I also picked up some of this Serena Shire sauce at the Sugar Shed. So everyone knows the classic Worcestershire sauce, and this is their very own version, utilizing products from the town. So very, very cool. And I talked about umami before. This smells like it is packed full of flavor, and it's going to go so nicely with our steak. So let's get a little saucepan on the go, straight over the coals there. All right, garlic is going to go in with our butter. We're going to get that nice and aromatic. A little bit of seeded mustard. A good tablespoon of that goes in. And we got our Sugar Shed rum. That's going to be a bit of a hero in our sauce. Oh, smells good. Little glug. Perfect. It's going to burn that alcohol off, bring out those delicious flavors. Oh, yum. Now this sauce is all about balancing it out, although we want it to be slightly sticky. So going with the theme of Serena and the sugar production, I've got a little bit of molasses here, which I'm going to just pop in. And also, to balance off our sweetness, we've got the Serena Shire sauce, so the saltiness, again, a nice meatiness too. And then finally, a little bit of acid, some apple cider vinegar is going to go in to add just a little bit of tartness. Now the key here is just to reduce everything down really nicely. I'm going to season with some black pepper as well. The sauce is starting to look good. I'm just going to drop in a couple more little knobs of our butter just to give that nice glossiness to it. Now, it's time for the moment that I have been waiting for, and that is to cook these delicious steaks. Look at them, they're seasoned, they've come to temperature. The barbecue is nice and hot. The coals have that sort of white ash on them is what you're looking for. I'm pretty excited. So no oil needed because that Wagyu has so much of that delicious fat. I'm gonna pop the lid on and let them begin their cooking process. Oh yeah. I think they're looking pretty good. Oh. Okay, let's give these a bit of a glaze. At the same time, I'm just going to give our mushrooms just a little touch with the glaze. Looks so good. Pop the lid down, let them continue to do their thing while the steak rests. We'll slice it, we'll slice the mushrooms. I'm going to serve it up with a really nice, simple green salad, and that is going to be a perfect steak and mushrooms.